Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We got a weird one on the bench today. We're going to delve into this. I've already looked at it, and I've already done a couple of repairs with the customer standing in front of me. But he wanted to go farther with it. It needs a complete setup and cleanup and full Monty basically. But I want to show this to you. I've never worked on one, but I've seen a million of them. Well, I've seen a couple of them. Let's get to work. What we have here is a Fender Spark-O-Matic. Now, I'm a little perturbed about this guitar. I don't know what to make of it. It's a parallel universe Fender. I'm going to check all the electronics. It's got a weird whammy system on it that the customer says he does not use. So we're going to leave it as it is because it seems to be kind of slammed down. He doesn't even use this. Some of the parts are rusty and corroded. But the most interesting thing that I have found before we start checking the electronics and everything is I always like to know where I start. And the first thing I look at is string height and neck relief. And not only string height and neck relief, but I also look at string spacing. I mean, I kind of eyeball down the guitar, and it looks relatively good. It's not terrible, but it's definitely shifted this way a little bit. The low E is closer to the edge of the fretboard than the high E, but I think it's playable. Very interesting instrument, but there's no way to adjust saddle height, which I don't understand that. I don't know what year this guitar is. I don't know anything much more about it other than the serial number's right on it. It says Fender Parallel Universe. So I'm going to do more investigation into it, but the first thing we're going to do is check some measurements, because you got to know where you're starting before you know where you can go. I already have the string height there. I checked the string height already, and I didn't like what I saw, and which led me to start looking at this, and I thought, oh, that must be an adjustment, but it's not. It's pretty loose. It's pretty loose, which would explain why we've got so much string height. I've never heard of adjusting string height with neck relief, although there are a lot of guitar techs out there that do that, and I'm going to tell you that's not how you do it, but maybe. Usually I do this after I work on the instrument. So, first thing I want to do is kind of straighten out the neck a little bit, because I can definitely see a banana in it, and the measurement confirms that. So, this should be a telling exercise, because if it is standard, it doesn't say made in the USA, and even the decal on it looks a little wonky, like it was put on after and it was not clear coated over, which means it looks like a roasted maple neck. The guitar seems nice and right, but I haven't checked the electronics. But before I get into any of that, I'm thinking that's going to be way too big. I can tell by the size of the hole. I'm not liking what I see so far. Alright, it doesn't appear as though it's well, it seems like it is a standard size, meaning SAE No, it's a little loose. I'm going to try metric. And if it turns out to be a metric thing in there, then I know it's not a USA type instrument. I think my pencil fell down. It's not a 4. And 3 is even looser than 1/8. So 1/8 seems to be the winner. Odd. Very, very odd. Very odd. I mean, it's in there. It's definitely 1/8. So I'm going to try to put some relief, or pull some of the relief out. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it like that. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Whoa, that thing is stuck. Let's just see what that did. It's getting straighter. Let's check it. I don't want it to be too straight. But we definitely got to try to get this string action down. And it needs to come some more. It is just too backbowed. The strings are a little bit in the way. Guess I'm going to have to loosen that G string and get it out of my way. I'm going through this before I get too far along with it. Wow. It really is fighting me to straighten out. And I want to go a little bit even straighter. It feels like a good solid truss rod, but I guess I should have asked more questions from the customer as far as what he knew about this guitar. I don't know. I can get it to where it'll adjust and I like what I'm feeling and seeing in measurements. Oh, much better. Oh, let's see where our string height is. I'm curious about that because we definitely straightened out the neck a lot. Oh. Yeah, let's see. .564 to 4/64. Well, it's not buzzing. It's not making any noise. Now, here's the caveat with all that. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself because there are, I believe, I did take the time to measure the strings when the customer dropped it off, and I believe there are either 11s or 12s on this thing. So we are putting 10s on it. Yeah, these strings are mammoth. they're just monstrous. There are 12s on it, which are just the wrong string for it. That could have been why the neck was in such a banana. It was just putting too much pressure on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel off these strings because I know they do not belong on there. We should not have 12s on this kind of instrument. You can put them on there and you can adjust the truss rod. My only fear is that there is no way to adjust the string height, the saddle height. It is a set thing. It's not even like a tune-o-matic where you can bring up just one side or the other, the bass or the treble. So I'm going to pause really quickly. I'm going to de-string it. We're going to go to cleaning it and cleaning and dressing the frets on the board before we get into doing the setup on it. So stand by. Okay, so we're back. I did a little cleaning up while I had the strings off. I was fiddling around with this, and I was fiddling around with this a lot. Believe it or not, yeah. I couldn't believe that Fender would design an instrument, and it's been so long. And it takes a point, even off the standard scale, they went to 0.050 goes in there to adjust the satellite. And I knew there had to be an adjustment for it. So I guess I had a brain fart on that. I tried to polish up the pickup covers. They're clean. There was a lot of gook and grime on them, and it was really black and oogie. Short of taking these pickups apart and getting on the wheel with these and the tarnish remover, no, that's not going to happen. But they are clean and smooth. And I polished up all the pickup rings. I'm not going to take that all apart and go to that length. But what I am going to do, like I always do, is get after this neck because it needs it. Because damn. And by the way, it was really gooky and dirty. Guitars that get played get schmutz on them. And I don't have a problem with that. That's what I'm here for. We're going to start with 180 grit. I'm going to do all three on these because these frets are really tarnished. And I want to get them cleaned off. So you've seen this exercise before. I'm going to start with 180, and that takes most of the gook off. I'm going to go all the way down, then I'm going to move to 400, then I'm going to move to 1,000. Just to get these things standing tall again. So again, I'm going to pause because I don't want to burn a whole bunch of video time showing this exercise. I'll get back when we get to the 1,000 grit at the very end. We'll show the finish of it. But this is a 3-step process when they're really bad. 180, 400, and then to 1,000. So I'll be right back. Stand by. So yeah, we're working up to the last little bit of the 1,000 grit, and all this does is take the tarnish and goop and DNA off of the frets. Call it what you want. You can go much farther with frets, but you don't need to on this instrument because the frets are in pretty decent shape from what I can see. They just need to be polished and shined. And for that, I'm doing the fret eraser. Sometimes you use a sandpaper on it, a really, really high grit, like an 1800 wet sand, but this is my go-to usually. Fret erasers, 180, 400, 1,000. You do those three, and your stuff will come out looking, well, as good as it can. All right, shut your headphones off. Sorry about that. Okay, so we cleaned up the top. There's a little dust on there already. We're going to oil the board because, damn, that's weird. The board is bare wood, rosewood, and it's really, really dark. Nice example. And they clear coated up here above the nut, and the nut itself has been clear coated with the entire headstock. Why they didn't take the time, maybe they did, I don't know why they didn't take the time to clear coat over the thing. I don't know. All right, let's get at it, because this is what I really like to do. Older instrument, or one that's got some age on it. This one's definitely been played. A lot of strumming marks right here. I don't know if the camera's picking up on that, but this instrument's been played, and right there, that's strumming marks. Interesting instrument. Interesting instrument. A lot of people on the internet call them the Thunderbird or the Firebird or the whatever, but believe it or not, Gibson came out with their design similar to this after this one was invented. Jazzmaster goes all the way back. This one's a Jazzmaster Spark-O-Matic. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. We're going to make her play nice. We're going to clean her up as much as we can. Girl's got some age on it, and she's got some wear. But that's what happens when instruments get played, and I like that. Character. Boiled linseed oil. You know my mantra on that. This stuff is the best. You can get a lot of different products for this, but boiled linseed oil. This is what you would put on teak. And if your instrument doesn't deserve the best stuff you can treat it with, why do you have the instrument? Look at the difference. Look at the difference. I know, I rant about it every single time I do it, but that's what I do. I rant a lot. I digress. You apply it, and then you take it off. I put it on pretty thick, that's why I didn't wait. Sometimes I'll let it sit on there for 10 or 15 minutes, but this board is already so dark, I didn't want to leave it on there for too long. Yeah. Did not need to clean the fretboard with a brush and soap and water. Wasn't that far gone, but it was close. It was close. All right, let's clean up the headstock and flip it over and clean up the back a little bit, and then let's get to the money. Let's get this thing strung up and do a setup on it, because that's what it really needs. Fingerprints, oil, grease, all over this guitar. It gets used. Tighten up all this hardware too. Millimeter loose, really loose. Almost coming off. Yeah, they're all loose. Yep, that entire headstock hardware was loose, all of it. When we flip it over, we're going to get after the other stuff too. Yep. Everything up here looks good on the top. A lot of scratches, a lot of character, but she cleaned up nice. Let's flip it over and get after, oh yeah, dirty, dirty, dirty. probably do the horns and the sides again because I had my fingers all over it. Once I clean a guitar, it's a pain in the butt because now I still have to work on it and get the strings and do the setup. And I always end up getting my fingerprints on it again. Interesting shape. I think we fixed that the other day. We did a couple of quick repairs on it when the customer first brought it to me. That's when he asked me to go ahead and do the whole thing on it. I'm happy to do it. It's got good Schaller strap locks on it. I didn't think to ask him, but I'll bet he's a gigger. I think he plays because this instrument looks like it is battle worn. A little bit. Not as bad as some, worse than others. My Thunderbird is in worse shape than this, but it still plays like a champ. She came right back to life. Just got some belt buckle rash. The typical things you would see on a gigging instrument. All this hardware looks good. Nice and clean. Let's get to it. String of choice, and he did not skimp. D'Addario. Yeah, these are coated, and they're really, really good strings. And they do last longer. They cost a little more, but they last longer. See if I remember how to string up a guitar. What do you think? What is going on here? These are different color than I'm used to. They are different color than I'm used to. Brass and black, silver and brass. Yep. Okay, we're good. A little bit different color. Now, are you going to cooperate with me? I think so. So you know the process. String's going to live here, it's going to live here, and live there. So we're going to go 1.5 past and cut it. You want to try to get at least 2 wraps down here. Oh, wow, that thing's really deep. May not get 2 wraps. Maybe we have to go 2 pegs. Yeah, there's a really deep crevice down in there. On the saddle. Yeah, I think we're going to go 2 pegs. Interesting. That's deeper than my bass guitar. Let's see how this one goes. 2. I'll go full 2, maybe a little past. Oh yeah, I like that. Much better. Okay, I'm going to pause while I put the rest of the strings on. We'll be right back. Okay. We are ready to do a tune and setup now. We've cleaned it, dressed the frets, oiled the board, wiped everything down, took as much gook off of the pickup covers as we could. I guess they're as close to mini humbuckers as they could be. I'm assuming that's what's under there. Excuse my fat head. My tuner is arguing with me. There we go. Sorry. Let's just get tuned up and see where we're at. Get tuned up, stretched up. Come on, Edward, where are you? I guess I didn't tighten that one up enough when I was stringing it. Stretch. I know this is tedious, sorry, but this is what we do. And they're going to stretchy because we do have a spring trim system on it, but it shouldn't take too long because it's pretty much locked. Okay, I'm going to check the neck relief again because we took 12s off of it. We had set the neck relief a little bit, but we took 12s off of it and we put 10s on it this time. So let's just see what that left us with. Capo at the first, hold the body, check the 7th fret. It's a little tight now, but not bad. I'm going to roll with that. I like that. Unless we get string buzz, it may want more neck relief, but this guitar seems to be pretty stout and pretty stable. I think it's going to like that. The next thing I want to check is string height. And once we get that set, I'm going to check intonation and all that stuff. So we are at just under 5/64. Yep. I think what we're going to do, because we're tailing off as we go across the radius, I want to bring this side up. I want to bring the treble side up slightly. Yeah. Let's see what that does. I'd like to see it at 5/64 across, but just because that's what Fenders should be. Yeah, we're definitely going to bring it up on that side. Up, uppy. 154. We're getting there. This is very similar to a Tune-O-Matic type bridge. You can only do the bass and the treble side of the. I may have to, if I go any higher, I'm going to have to loosen the strings slightly. Get my other glasses on. I can see what's going on here. 4, 5. I'm going to roll with that because on a Tune-O-Matic type bridge, which basically this is, you can only raise one side or the other. You can't do individual saddles, which is what a normal Fender would be. You raise each saddle up across the radius of the board, but with this, all we can do is the bass side and the treble side. And I think we're going to be good where I have it. I like it. I think it's going to play nice like that. So it's kind of a cross between a Fender and a Gibson in this regard. Very nice. Dead on. Wow. That's a very crisp guitar. The intonation is dead on, I mean dead on, balls accurate. Whoever set it up before did an awesome job, with the exception of the string height and stuff. That's subjective. Different techs, different players will set that stuff up differently, but we're going to start with there. We're at almost 5/64 on the bass and right at 4/64 on the treble. I like it. I like it a lot. I think that's where this instrument is going to play really well. There's only one way to know for sure. Ooh, hot guitar too. Oh, you know what I forgot before we do that? I think I did check this. I'm going to check it again right now. Pardon me. Pardon me. Pick a pipe. I think, pretty sure this was one of the things I adjusted the other day. That's a little low. I don't like that. Magnetic field. You got to be in that sweet spot. Not too high, not too low. Why are you not cooperating in the middle there, mister? Yeah. How about the bass side? Like that. I could live with that. I could totally live with that. Where were we going here? Yep, set up just like a Strat. Typical 5-way switch setup. I like it though. Very cool. Very cool. I don't know how I want to show off my stupidity on a guitar. I like it. Sounds pretty good. I like it. Beautiful little instrument. And it sounds hot as hell. Okay, we're going to call that a win. Nice. We had a couple of hiccups at the start, but we figured it out. Now, this instrument sits for a day. It might need a little adjustment there, but I don't think we're going to run into any issues. So weird for a guitar player, a bass player that play. Every time I pick up a guitar, I feel like I'm going to break the damn thing. This Blackjack with 396 guitar is the reason we go through every fret like that, just to make sure we don't have any high frets and to make sure we don't have any buzzing from the setup. Some guitars like to be slightly higher, some like to be slightly lower, some like a little more neck relief, but you always start with the basic measurements. And 99 times out of 100, once I set those, I never get an issue. So thanks for playing along. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. We'll talk soon.